Hi guys, Eddie here. It's been a while since I posted a video. I have been very busy at school. It's been very intense. Still, I've been trying to work on this project on and off whenever I get a chance. And as lately, I've been working on implementing Snake AI that the human player can play against. And I finally feel ready to show it to you guys. So let's try to launch it. Right. So, okay, let's, all right. So here it is. As you can see, the game visualizes the pathfinding implementation. As you can see, it's a grid-based implementation, and what it does is basically is trying to compute a path from the head to the nearest objective, and if it doesn't find a path to that objective, try to go to the next one, and so on. Now, in order to make sure that the path is safe, what the pathfinding also does is once it computes the path to the actual objective, it tries to compute a path to the tail from the objective to the tail. And if that path is also found, then the path to the objective is considered safe. Um, uh, when it comes to the snake game, as long as the snake can find its own tail and it can follow its tail, it will stay alive because is the way the game works. Um, and as you can see, there are some color codes here. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. So if it sounds a little strange, you know what it is. I don't think you guys have ever heard me talk before, but still. Anyways, as I was saying, as you can see, there are some color codes for different areas. You got the red areas, which are non-traversable areas. The snake cannot go through. Those areas are not computed by the pathfinding algorithm. Then you have the dark orange areas, which are danger zones. These areas, if the snake go through these areas, it will get hurt, meaning you will lose some health. Right now, I have deactivated the health loss mechanism, so you will see that. Um, and we also have the light orange areas, which are no spawn zones for the apples. Those areas, the apples will not spawn on those zones, so you don't have to worry about them. Also, those areas have penalties, which will make the algorithm try to avoid them until unless it has to go through them. Now, uh, the snake will go through the danger zones and lose health if he has to. If it doesn't have any other way, we will do that. Now, my goal here was I was trying to make an AI which was both competitive and safe, and that was a real challenge because making an AI that is competitive is easy. You have to make sure that it goes for the closest goal, computes it fast, it goes to that goal, and it just keeps doing that. Now, in order to make sure it's safe, you also have to find a path to your tail. If you cannot find a path to the objective, then you have to follow your tail. And the way I do this here is I make a path to the tail. Uh, I compute the longest path to the tail, and I take that path. And in the meanwhile, I try to compute paths to the objectives. And if I find a path to the objectives, I leave the path to the tail and start pursuing the objective instead. Uh, Now, it has a system, a decision-making system that if the AI cannot find a path to the tail or to the objectives, it would try to compute a path uh, from the head to the cell that is furthest away from the objective. And if it doesn't find that, it will try to compute a path to the cell that is furthest away from the head. And if it doesn't find that, it will try to compute a path from the cell that is furthest away from the tail. And if that doesn't work, then it will start stalling until it finds a path or it dies. And that's way I made sure that the snake stay alive. It stays alive for a long time. Now, this is not a perfect AI. The snake will die eventually. Um, there are other implications that play a role on the survival of the snake. But It does a pretty good job of trying to stay alive. As you guys can see, right now it has taken 329 apples. It's still there, still rock solid. Um, Now, if the snake is currently pursuing an objective and the player snake takes that objective from the snake, from the AI, um, the AI will recompute a path to another objective. So that works. Not a problem. Now, the other thing is, right now, I'm not considering the player snake an actual obstacle, but if I were to set the flag uh, and set the player snake to an obstacle, then what the snake does is that, or what the AI does is that it computes a path every every time it moves from one cell to the other. Now, as you can imagine, this is very taxing on the system since it has to compute paths all the time to make sure it doesn't collide with a moving object. Um, now, as you guys can see, um, right now we can always find the snail. We haven't gotten into the situation when it doesn't find it, but sometimes it will happen that the snake cannot find the snail. Um, this is a project that I'm really trying to do the best I can to make sure that the snake is competitive and safe in order to uh, make sure that players can actually play against it and you know feel like they're playing against like a real adversary. Um, Now, if you guys have any suggestions whatsoever, any comments or anything, just please share your thoughts with me. I'm happy to hear your thoughts and I'm open to suggestions. I want to know if you have ideas on how to make things better, more competitive. There are some things that I haven't implemented, like what you call it, tactical functions that make the snake give up, trying to pursue an objective that the player is obviously going to get first, things like that. Now, as you can see, we pretty hard for the player snake to actually beat the AI, but it has a built-in mechanism that controls the difficulty and how fast it will be, and the heuristic used for uh, for pursuing the path. Now, as you can see, the heuristic that the snake is using is not a perfect heuristic. It's not taking the real shortest path to the actual objective. It's taking the straightest path to the objective, which is something I was also trying to make sure it worked in order to create more fluent, make it look a lot more fluent. I didn't want it to look too, what to say, artificial. In fact, it is, but it still didn't look that. Well, if you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any suggestions whatsoever on how to make this better, just leave a comment. And thank you for watching. I'll let the video roll for a little longer, or actually no. Goodbye, guys.